I'm Dick Pusateri, the Military and Veteran Services Manager, and we're interviewing today Melvin Gomez, combat veteran, John Jay graduate, and a great illustration of what we're covering in this class, looking at both the veteran experience and the experience of medically disabled students at John Jay. Melvin is a retired Army officer, and Melvin is a combat wounded veteran, suffered TBI, and has just got a terrific story. He's a great human being, but after coming out of the military, actually started again, already had a degree from Binghamton University, but started again at Bronx Community College, got himself together, overcame some physical and personal difficulties, and became a great student in both an undergraduate degree and then a graduate MPA, graduating last January. So it's great to have you, Melvin, and Melvin's going to answer some of our questions having to do with, again, the experience of veterans and disabled students at John Jay. Now, tell us a bit about your military background and experiences, Melvin.
First, thank you, Captain Pusateri, for letting me speak on behalf of being a disabled veteran. I started my military career briefly back in the Bush administration in the early 2000s after 9/11 and the ensuing war in Iraq. I then joined the Army. I was an enlisted person. The Army was in need of officers during that time. I was able to go to SUNY Binghamton and attend Cornell Army ROTC, where I got my commission in the mid-2000s. Shortly after that, I was deployed various times to the OIF region, that is Southwest Asia, Iraq, Afghanistan, Turkey, multiple other countries. Then I came home in the mid-2000s and I retired officially in 2017. Military disabled retirement due to injuries occurred overseas.
Why did you come to John Jay?
John Jay is the only school of criminal justice, and it was offered a major that was extremely interesting, international criminal justice. It was appealing after living overseas for such a long time, and John Jay was a perfect fit.
And what degrees did you complete here?
Well, I officially completed a Bachelor's of Science in Criminal Justice and a Master's in Public Administration, a concentration in Human Resources.
Hey, tell us what it was like to come back to college as an experienced combat veteran.
It was not easy. Coming from a very rigid hierarchical system, an adjustment period that was carried out, and it was difficult, but it was doable with correlation of support from staff and professors and fellow students.
Were your instructors and classmates aware of your background?
Not at first. I tried to be discreet, but situations arise that are under the ADA, that's the Americans with Disabilities Act, which cause attention, whether it be intentional or unintentional. It's not malicious, it's just normal curiosity. And eventually, because we have to make accommodations as being a person with a disability through accessibility, the professors are made aware through the letter process. Students may become aware through just rumors or just seeing situations when someone asks, why is this person allowed to do this? And it's been told that, hey, there's a medical issue, and then it's no longer an issue.
Were there things that were said or done, or perhaps not said and done in classes, that made it difficult for you as a veteran to fully involve yourself in your studies?
Personally not, but there are issues that arise due to subject matters containing genocide or war crimes or things of that may cause a dialogue or may cause someone to say a personal opinion, the way the professor's presenting a case. So it's dependent on the situation.
Do you feel the experiences and background of military veterans are respected and accepted in your classes?
It depends, again, on the class, the professor, and the subject that's being discussed. Being in the military brings a lot of experiences, but you're here to learn. You can always use your experience to augment. For example, it's like you should not always bring your military experience to something like a fire safety or a nursing class like how to nurse children. Like I don't think the military is the right place for you to bring up those type of experiences. So it should be depending on the class, depending on the subject matter, and also depending on the professor and the atmosphere that you're in.
What were the worst class experiences you had as a veteran?
Professors who didn't understand until maybe the accessibility letters were received. So perception versus clarification was the biggest issue.
And what were the best experiences you had in class as a veteran?
The best experiences were I can't complain, the summer courses, and even the weekend courses. At the beginning, one dreads them because it's like, oh, it's summer, but it's a double-edged sword, as the professors are also there with you. So some of the best experiences is being with these professors during these times where everybody would rather be on vacation, but we're going through and we're working together, and it's easy, and it's accessibility is able to contact them because you don't have the massive student body. The night courses, summers, and weekend courses have been some of the best professors, and very understanding and very accommodating.
What helped you most to succeed in your John Jay studies?
My success is a group success. Like, I wasn't successful with John Jay. This is how it worked out. If it wasn't for everyone working together I literally got into John Jay as a transfer student in the summer. So it was a combination of the Military Veterans Association, the Accessibilities Office, admissions administrator, and the specific Veterans Office financial aid counselor. With those four groups, that's how I became successful in John Jay. And maintaining communications between those four groups and your professors and anyone else in the John Jay administration, like, communication is key. These are four different systems that work four differently, but you're their one nexus event, so you need to keep them in coordination in order for them to coordinate and help you out. That's how that works.
What do you think the college could do to better help veterans like you succeed?
If there can be a standard group email list, a system like that, you're in a group chat where it's like, you're a disabled veteran, here is the group chat for the accessibility military, so that when that issue arises, not just you're emailing each one and then blind carbon copying someone or CCing someone. It's that this is the issue, all of you guys get pinged. It'll be a group chat that all three, the accessibility, the professor, and the military veterans office, and the dean's office for students, groups, whatever, all of them are notified simultaneously. Therefore, there isn't this phone of, I told them, but they haven't told you yet. We'll get back to you, per se. The time may take the same, but at least it was given. You were notified at all simultaneously at the same time.
As a student with a medical disability registered with Accessibility Services, what were the accommodations you received to help you succeed in your studies?
They were very accommodating. They've managed to provide extra time on exams. Be able, some professors have a no technology policy that may be adjusted, again, with coordination with the professor and accessibility.
Now, you talked about the value of the letter from Accessibility Services to professors. How did you communicate? Could you communicate other needs to the faculty member beyond what was in that letter? I mean, you had illness situations.
Yes,
all of that. So how did that work out for you?
So again, a key point was also communication. In keeping your professors aware. Let them know ASAP. Schedule office hours. Whether it be remote office hours or in person. Let them know the situation. Always document everything. Doctor's notes. Slips. Tags from a hospital. Like, I still have my medical tag. It's always important to document. It's always important to always keep people abreast. Even if it's it's an emergency, I will let you know as soon as possible. It's better than hearing it 3 days later when the deadline's already passed. It's better to say it earlier than later.
Yeah, and I think it's important, Melvin, for people to understand that you faced, in the midst of a lot of academic success, you faced, some moments, some experiences of real medical discomfort.
Yes.
And having to communicate that to professors and to keep moving forward is, I think you're right. How do you make that work when maybe you're suffering from migraines to a level you can't study for 8 days, or you can't go to class because you've been in the emergency room, or those things. So, I think, did you find that you could communicate those things and get support from faculty?
It was difficult at the beginning, just communicating directly to faculty. And that's the reason why I'm a big proponent of always having more eyes and ears in the situation. Once accessibility and the military veterans officer were aware of abreast of the situation and explained that to the faculty, things moved along. But it was difficult at the beginning. I was having a very difficult time. I almost dropped out at 2 different occasions. And if it wasn't for the support given to me by a combination of factors, like I said, the faculty, the Military Veterans Association, the accessibility office, which was a very indispensable, very decisive in ensuring that the professors understood the ADA policies, and also having faculty to faculty conversation is different than faculty to student. It's a factor of the bureaucratic system that we're at. There's a difference when a faculty member is talking to a faculty member versus a student to a faculty. So therefore, inform faculty of your issues and let the system work. And if the system's not working, give positive criticism in order to progress the system. So those adversities that I went through, I'm preventing. For example, as always ensure communication is imperative. Like, it is paramount. Communication between all parties involved, even if you have to involve your primary care doctor, that comes in handy. Always ask for a doctor's note.
Now, wonder, sort of how you were accepted. Did in your classes, did faculty, sometimes even students, ever use language, say things that really sort of ostracized you, prevented you from really benefiting from the experience of the class? Was language ever spoken through all these adaptions?
It's all pertinent on the professor and the subject matter that's being discussed. Languages can be triggering to some veterans because of the subject matter that they're dealing with. We're dealing with adult content. We're dealing with murders, homicides, and we're dealing in the international scheme. We're dealing with war crimes and past wars. So it's all dependent on the class. I personally have not felt that way. I know students that have felt uncomfortable in some certain classes. I've always said to look at both sides of the coin, I guess, but it's always good to students to look at the subject matter before they pick the class, look at the professor, and get a sense of what is going to be discussed. And if someone feels that some of these subject matters may be triggering and maybe the class is being taught in a certain way, perhaps it's better to discuss it with the professor ahead of time and see if it's going to fit throughout the semester, or start bringing in faculty and see if it's early enough to transfer to something that's better. But you should not be where you feel uncomfortable. You should always ask for support. And if support is not granted, then by all means look at everything that policies allows you to do.
What were your most negative academic experiences as a medically disabled student?
I was given an incomplete at one point in time because of medical issues. Again, I'd rather have the incomplete than the F. It was but that was given because of coordination with multiple faculties explaining this is what's going on. But again, that was a very low point, but then I did the work and managed to get an A in the course. Not everything is the end of the world. Do not despair. If you address things early, you will have the time later on to put them in correct order and actually be more successful again. But it's all about coordinating and keeping both the professors, accessibility office, and whomever it is, whether it be the military veterans office or another faculty that you deal with in order for you to be successful in your academic career while you are a disabled and veteran, or a disabled person or veteran, or either or.
Okay. And how about the positive experiences as a disabled student? Where
I mean,
did a class that a faculty member really come through for you? What were the great things?
I mean, the great things is both the military and the veterans, military veterans and accessibility. Accessibility did their best. Bless those people. They are nice. They do their best to always have a nice, quiet space. I felt safe. Very attentive staff, good people, very organized group of people. The military veterans services cannot, again, it's invaluable. It's priceless to this organization. I don't think John Jay will have that many veterans if it wasn't because that organization, the Military Veterans Office, works in conjunction with other groups in order for a student veteran to be successful. So those are things that not only attracted me to John Jay, also allow me to stay in John Jay while pursuing my graduate degree, because I could have gone to another school. Fordham's across the street. There's Hunter, but I was like, no, you know what? The way I was treated was well. It's getting better, and John Jay was a perfect fit for my graduate studies, and it will be perfect fit for my postgraduate studies as well.
You know, if you were speaking to the faculty, and you are, what would you want to tell them about becoming more successful leaders of learning for veterans? And this one, veterans in general. What would you tell faculty they ought to know to be successful leaders of learning for veteran students?
Remember that as a faculty member, you have authority. And the veteran respects that authority more than you give him credit, even though you think not. Remember that there is a system, it's a hierarchy, you're the instructor, we're being taught. Every veteran has gone through that, whether it be basic training, minimum. There's an instructor, instructee mentality. And as for you to be a better instructor is, do not give us anything special, do not treat us, do not shout out. It's always good that you thank us for our service in private, but do not put a spotlight on us directly. Discretion is key, unless the student keeps on demanding something, which I doubt they would. But discretion is key. But also establishing personal relations, as in office hours, and establishing emails for official and unofficial business. Most veterans sometimes disassociate those two things. There's the official channel of business, and there's the unofficial channel of business. Like, am I meeting your office hours because we need to talk about official things in class related, or this is personal issues, but it's gonna affect me in class? That things like that. If one understands that, I think a professor will be far more successful.
Similar question for your concerning the learning of your fellow disabled students. What do you think faculty, you know, all the medical, the personal challenges that disabled students face, what do you think would help faculty be more successful with them if they knew it?
Again, I think a big thing is to learn more, and that's everyone, learn more about the ADA and what is allowed and what is not. And also as a student is to learn the ADA, like learn what is allowable for you to succeed and what is not. And also learn about, be proactive in learning other programs and other groups and other organizations, probably within CUNY, that have programs that help you because of your status as a protected person, because of your disability status, or as your veteran status. It's very imperative that one effectively communicates, whether it be through phone, through in person, as a person with disability, as a veteran. You're part of a community, you're part of a group, and you should, even if you have behavioral health issues, you should always try to connect and network within your group of people with disabilities, or within veteran groups, or within both, or within outside the groups. But networking is key, because the more people are aware of the situation, the more people are willing to address the situation.
Great insights. And again, successful student, great human being, and certainly John Jay to the core, Melvin Gomez, gives us some great insight about what it's like to be a veteran, a disabled student at John Jay. Thanks.